Hello dear friends, today we will do the sewing masterclass how to make the garter belt with suspenders. It's the retro style garter belt. As you can see, I made it from two different materials. You can also add some embroidery, or you can make it transparent as I did as the combo for the wedding set. I will show you the lace variant, but you can change the material on other maybe non-transparent materials and can add some lace for decoration and do absolutely different garter belts. We will need mesh, lace for the some layers, elastics, suspenders, all other materials. The total amount I will write you under this video, so you do not worry about it. Now I will show you how we are making. First, we are copying all the patterns parts to the mesh. Check also the mesh flexibility. We need to put our details strictly to the non-stretching side. So your mesh can stretch a little bit in width, but in length it should be absolutely stable. I am using some scrap parts of my mesh not to throw it, and I think they fit it perfectly. So now we are cutting them. And after that we will also cut some parts from the lace, and our mesh will work for the lace parts as additional stabilizing material. If you plan to make it from the wedding satin fabric as that white garter belt, then you will have no need for the mesh. You will need only the fabric you're planning to use. Also, it should be, I make this pattern for non-stretch materials, but if you plan to use stretch materials, then take pattern one size smaller than your actual size, and then your garter belt will be a possibility for the stretch and to warp your body in normal way. Okay, so now I will put the second pattern part and the fourth pattern part. So those where I will attach the suspenders, I will make them with the lace. So I have to cut same pattern. And as I told, the mesh will work as a stabilizing material, because on that part with suspenders there will be the maximum the maximum damage can be, or maximum stretching. I have some lace left for the panties to make the combo. Now we will put all the mesh with the lace parts, and when we'll make the sandwich of them, we will start sewing and collecting our turning our pattern into the garter belt. For the part 3, I advise you to put a pin where is the top of this part, because you can misunderstand where it's the top, where it's the down part of the pattern, so better to pin it for you to keep it in mind. And now I'm putting the lace parts on the mesh parts, and I'm also pinning them with the pins, so my lace and mesh, they will not move and they will be stable while I'm sewing all the parts on the machine. So now we're coming to the machine. We are putting our patterns wrong side to wrong side, so all the seam allowance will be on the front side, and we will cover them with the tunnels for the bones, because we will put plastic bones in this garter belt, and 1 centimeter or 1.5 centimeters seam allowance we will stitch on the machine. So now we are sewing part 1 with the part 2. Help yourself to push your machine needle through the lace, because here we have a heavy embroidered lace and sometimes for machine it's difficult to walk through. Now I will cut some extensions of the seam allowance, because my bone channels is around 1 centimeter and the seam allowance is about 1.5. Okay, now we are cutting our bone channel, and we are putting our bone channel edge to the edge of the seam that we have just done, and again we are putting the seam through the bone channel, and our channel will be fixed exactly on that seam that we have just made. So we cut it from the extension. Now we will spread our pattern, cut again extensions. As you have seen, I cut it before, but still have something left, so I think I have to cut it till 3 millimeters, because even 5 millimeters can be seen sometimes. And now we are spreading our patterns and stitching the second part, the second side of the bone channel, spreading and pulling the mesh to both sides, so there will be no wrinkles, and our bone channel will be stitched to the second part of the pattern. So same way we will do with all the parts. We will pin wrong side to wrong side, face seam allowance to the face, then we will put the seam on the side, then we will cut the extensions, stitch our bone channel, and in this way we will make all the garter belt without any decoration now, without any bones, but just we will collect it in one. Also help your machine to pass the embroidered elements, because in my version my embroidery is very heavy embroidered, and for machine sometimes it's difficult to pass through exactly these embroidered flowers. The same, I'm putting on extension in my seam allowance and putting the stitch exactly on the same stitches I have just done. This stitch fixes additionally all the pattern parts and also hides all these seam allowances that we have cut and make our work looks clean, because all the seams are packed inside and under the bone channel. So you can see we have collected our garter belt. Now we will add the lower elastics. I am sewing them to the border, and since my elastics they have ornament, I am sewing them in that way that ornament is looking on my inside my garter belt, because I will turn after that my elastic, and then all the decoration will look on the correct side. I'm using now the zigzag stitch. It's triple zigzag stitch. Underneath it's number 6, if I'm not mistaken. On brother it's number 4. When I'm done with the first part, then I'm turning around my elastic and again putting the zigzag stitch, stretching a little bit this elastic to make it lay normally. And as you can see, my decoration of the elastic, it is looking now on the correct side. And also it's warp inside all the extension, all the seam allowances, all the unpretty edges, and it is looking pretty clean. So same way I'm doing with all the lower parts. You can see I'm doing them part by part, and also I'm stretching my elastic so it should lay correctly. Usually I stretch 1 to 10, so if my elastic is 10 centimeters, I stretch it to 11 centimeters, and it gives some stability and also allows you to wear your garter belt, and it warps your body very tightly. And also in this way I am sewing, fixing my bone channels, because I will put bone from the upper opening, and after that I will also sew the upper edge of the garter belt with elastic, and will keep my bones inside. Okay, now we'll come to the suspenders. You can use the ready-made suspenders already, but I will show you how to make. I cut around 40 centimeters, four pieces, 40 centimeters. Or you can check if you need longer, you can measure it. Since we will turn it twice, so to my mind this 40 centimeters will be enough. I am using the wide elastic, it's around 2 centimeters wide. And I am also taking the suspenders, it's a little bigger than 2 centimeters, it's 2.5 I think, or 23 millimeters or 25. But they look in vintage, and since I want to make this retro garter belt, I decided to use them. And I'm also taking the frame. Frame is the exact size as my elastic. It's also for 20 millimeters. And now you can see how we can turn our elastic into suspenders. First I'm checking whether my frame is sitting in correct place. After that I am putting the rapid zigzag stitch, it's number 2 on Bernina. Cut all the extensions, and now we have the ready-made garter belt. Suspenders, sorry, not the garter belt. And like in this way we will make all the 3 left. Or as I told you, can use the ready-made. They already turned into suspenders. You just need them to sew to the garter belt. Okay, so we have all 4 done. And now I will sew them with also zigzag stitch to the suspender places. I am using rapid zigzag stitch, same as I was fixing my suspender elastics. And I do 2 stitching. First I stitch to the garter, then I turn to hide this extension inside and stitch again through the elastic, covering all the mesh extensions inside, and all the elastic that will be left too much I can cut. So in this way all the rest we are also fixing to the garter belt. When you work with elastic, you have to use only the zigzag stitch, depending on the how wide it is and how rapid it is. So for fixing something you can use this rapid zigzag stitch, And for fixing the elastic, to make them look beautiful, you can use this tripod. Now we have to add bones. I use plastic bones 5 millimeters wide. I am checking the length, and I cut 1 centimeter less than the actual length of my bone tunnel, because I will also stitch to the upper part of my garter belt. I will stitch the elastic, and I don't want my needle to be ruined by stitching through the plastic bone. So now in all tunnels I'm putting my plastic bones. You can also file them a little with a nail file, or you can burn them with a lighter. Fortunately, I had none of them. My lighter has finished, so since I was making already this video, I had to put bones without working fire with them. Still, it was also looking good. So okay, we put the last bone. Now we have to take our decorated elastic and covers the upper edge of the garter belt. Again, we are putting our machine on the triple zigzag stitch, and in two parts we have to sew our elastic. First we are sewing to the front part, and after that we will turn it to the wrong side, and again we'll stitch with zigzag stitch like we did with all the other parts. And with this stitch we also fixes our bones inside the tunnels. Now they will not be moved, or they will not be seen from there, and they will sit on its place. Also, we are stitching this elastics, lightly pulling it, so to make it sit in our garter belt normally without any wavy effect. So we are cutting all the threads, and now we have to add only the hook and eye. I'm fixing it also with the rapid zigzag stitch. Very carefully not to break the needle in the hook itself. Also put in zigzag stitch on the whole surface of the hook and eye, because it will keep it will extend its durability, and it will serve for you for longer time and will not be teared from the garter belt. And in the same way we will sew on the hook part. Now we made the eye part, now we'll sew the hook part, and our garter belt will be ready. Also hook we are sewing with the rapid zigzag stitch to fix it. Very carefully not to ruin the needle. Now we have to remove all the threads, press it, and you can enjoy your garter belt. Here we done.